How's it going, everyone? This is your astrology horoscope for June 25th, 2023. I'm astrologer Alex Skiles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Thank you all so much for being here. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. Hope you're all having a great weekend. Saturday was a pretty exciting and beautiful day. Sunday is very transformative. Pluto's getting activated by the moon. And with the sun in Cancer, Cancer ruling the moon, like it's a very potent moon energy today. And when it trines Pluto, it's really bringing up this emotional transformation that we've been going through. And Pluto's been in Capricorn since 2008. And as some of you probably know, this is the end of that. Pluto went back into Aquarius. Well, it moved into Aquarius back in March for the first time in 266 years, which is a long time. I mean, it's a long time. Pluto is the furthest planet that we know out there in our solar system. So the further the planet out, the longer it takes to move through a sign. Mercury goes around the sun every 88 days. Pluto takes 266 years. So it's a very significant transformation, and it's generational. So today, with the moon trining Pluto, it's really bringing up how we've been evolving emotionally and how we're healing. Virgo is that healing energy, and, we're healing our DNA, essentially. Generational wounds comes up a lot with Pluto. And today we're feeling the real positive result of how we're healing this generational issue or issues that we're all feeling collectively and individually. So, let's take a look at the chart. Let's just jump into it here. So this early in the morning, I mean, if you're on the West Coast here, around 11:30, it's going to be exact. The moon's going to be trining Pluto. Not exact, I mean, it'll be exact around 1 o'clock, but this build up towards that. It's like all in the morning, we're really going to be like waking up like with this real strong gut instinct. Pluto and the moon, when they get together in a real positive aspect like this, like it really brings up like we're confident in our intuition, and like it's almost like a psychic experience in a way, especially with the sun in Cancer, feeling that water energy. It's very psychic in a sense, and it's much easier to just trust your instincts and trust your intuition and kind of let it take you to where you need to go. And I feel like today what's coming up is just these very strong emotions towards like the things that we're healing. And I feel as well today, because the irony towards this very positive aspect between the moon and Pluto is this T-square going on here, right? Between the moon and Mercury and Neptune. And this is kind of a crazy, kind of aloof kind of energy, emotionally. It's like, we're feeling these strong emotions, and we're very positive about how we're evolving and transforming on a deep emotional level. But at the same time, it's like conversations are going to come up, and it's like it could be a little out there, it can get ungrounded. But I feel like when we really tap into the deep stuff, and with Pluto especially, it's like you want to go to the places that you don't really want to go. And if Pluto brings up a lot of fear, and it's like in order to really get through that fear, like you got to face that fear head on. And that's how we really got to deal with Pluto. And this moon trining Pluto is allowing us to face that fear in a very positive way. So if energy gets hectic, conversations get a little hectic and out there with this mutable T-square. Just don't be afraid to just go face the fear, like head on, because as the day progresses, like it's gonna really evolve into something positive. Because this T-square is really happening around 11:30 in the morning if you're on the West Coast, and the moon is gonna trine Pluto like right after that. So really, it's almost like the energy is gonna get a little hectic, and it might seem a little crazy or insane and ungrounded and just out there, and you gotta like reel yourself in or reel whoever you're communicating with, like try to reel them in, or someone's trying to reel you in. And once you move through that, because mutable energy, like it could just change on a dime. That's really what these mutable signs like really bring up, is just this ability to morph, and Pluto is also like morphing, like becoming something else, metamorphosizing. So it's like whatever kind of conflict or kind of crazy energy can come up, like it's positive. Like the result of that is very positive today. And you just can't let it get to you in your head. Like whether you're just like talking to yourself in your mind, because that's very Gemini, like as much as Gemini just wants to talk, and talk your head off, even if it doesn't mean anything. No offense to Gemini, sorry. Something, it could just be a simple conversation in your head that's just really, it's not true. Like it's not real, or based on any fact at all. Like when Mercury and Gemini squares Neptune and Pisces, it's like sometimes thoughts or things you can say or things other people are saying, like it may not be based in fact at all, or it might not be based on any sort of factual ground. It's very ungrounded, and this moon in Virgo trining Pluto is grounding that today, and the end result of that is very positive. Yeah, I think that's really, really, really amazing. So it's like you just, if you're having very strong gut instincts, like you just gotta roll with it. You gotta trust it and know that that's what we're evolving and moving through. And on top of that, this is really wild, and we've been talking about this, and this has been building up, is that Mars and Leo is at 21 degrees, officially squaring Uranus here. And this has been a very tense energy that's just been kind of calling us to free ourselves from where we've just been stuck. Uranus and Taurus tends to get stuck, and when we get stuck with this Uranus and Taurus, like it's like a cattle prod, like it just wants to shock you out of like where you're comfortable. And this Mars and Leo, it's like, look, when it's squaring Uranus and Taurus, it's like you get too comfortable where you're at, like you might, not be creating the things you want to create. And that's what this T-square, or this, it's not T-square, it's just, that's what this square is been bringing up, is this, like, man, I really have this desire and passion to create something, but I just am, I have to get over my own self to, initiate that and make it real. And that's what's happening today, is that like, this is very, very exciting towards like the ideas that can come in and come through. Cause that's what squares do, is that they force you to just, kick it into gear. Some of the most successful people, like they have pretty gnarly T-squares. I keep saying T-square, but they have pretty, heavy squares in their chart. People with, imagine somebody, they got a lot of trines and conjunctions. Excuse me. They have a lot of trines and conjunctions in their chart. Like, where's the pressure? Where's the pressure to create? like these squares really bring up, the 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 force we need to just push and get going and kick it into gear and say, you know what, like I'm ready. And today, like the square is forcing us to say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm just gonna fully embody this. Like whatever anybody thinks, I don't care, because that's what Leo energy does. It doesn't care. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. It's gonna make what it's gonna make. It's gonna express itself how it wants to express itself. And it's tired of just being stuck and being where it's at and being, just I'm happy where I'm at. It's like, no, like we may not be happy where we're at because we want to really make something. And, you don't want to be too lazy. And this is really going to kick it in. And it's exact today. So, and it's going exact around midnight going into Monday, really. So, but you're feeling that all day, you know? So, yeah, like overall, this day is really positive for really like just getting over things and getting over yourself, because that Leo energy is it rules the ego, and ego is a good thing. It doesn't mean arrogance. It means that, like, you know what, like this is who I am, and I'm gonna fully be that, despite the judgment or backlash that I may receive. Like it doesn't matter. Like everybody has their time to shine with this Mars and Leo, especially with Venus really close. It's in shadow, but it's ready. It's ready. And whatever it's kind of forcing you to come to, of like what you want to be and what you want to create, I feel like by the time Venus goes retrograde on July 23rd, I think is the date, like, and it's going to go direct on September 3rd. So it's a good month and a half here of that. But whatever today and Monday is really forcing to, to realize and say, hey, I'm ready for this shit. Like, I feel like when the Venus is retrograding at that time, like that's when we're going to see the results, is what you're doing during that Venus retrograde. It doesn't mean that, like, oh, retrogrades don't mean like I'm about to stop what you're doing and just go live in a cave until the planet goes direct. Like, that's not what it's about. Like, it's really reassessing all these things that it's bringing up, and it's bringing up a lot of ego stuff and how you see yourself and how others see you, and just, like, man, I really need to express myself. And that's what we're here to do. We're here on this earth to create. We're here to express ourselves, whether it's music and dance or art or just like, being funny, comedian, I don't, whatever. It's like that's what I love about Leo energy. It's so unapologetic. And with this Mars squaring Uranus, like that unapologeticness can be a little shocking to people. Uranus can be very shocking, and sudden things can happen, and it's dangerous. It's very dangerous energy, and dangerous. And like, you know what? Like, I know this is gonna really shock people out of their chairs, but it might be something that you might be creating, something that no one's ever seen before. Like, this is that kind of energy of like pure genius, really like surfacing because it has to, and it doesn't have a choice. That's what this Mars square Uranus is really like. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's just a deep, passionate time to create with this Lilith and this Venus. And yeah, like, what if you're feeling called to do instinctually, like, you got to do it. You just have to do it. You don't want to undo your purpose here on this earth, yeah. So fucking go for it, man. Today's a beautiful day. It's a transformative day. Like I said, by the end of the day, it's like we're really going to be overcoming a lot of these, generational things. And some of these generational things that we may be feeling may be what is hindering us to create. And that with this Mars square Uranus, like it might be like, you know what? Like I don't have to let the history of where I come from, like dictate the path, like Uranus is a pioneer, and to be a pioneer, like you can't accept the norm. Uranus doesn't accept the norm. Aquarius doesn't accept what's normal. It tends to want to, go against the normal. It's the contrarian, essentially. So, yeah, this is a really interesting energy today. So, let me know how you're feeling with this. I know how I've been feeling. And I will say too, like this week is bringing up a lot of psychic energy, with the sun trining Saturn. And we'll talk about it later in the week, but like by the time the moon gets in Scorpio later this week, it's going to be like ultra psychic energy and deja vu kind of vibes. Synchronicities just really falling into place, and things that you've been working on for a while, and there might be something that you've been working on for a long time that you've maybe been afraid to reveal, that now with this energy kicking it into gear, this Mars square Uranus just like striking a match, essentially. Like it's giving you the leverage to really be bold about what you want to show to people, Don't be afraid to show it. And now is really it's that time. And by the time Venus comes direct in September, like I feel like the confidence of that, if you're doing the work through this Venus retrograde period, and this is really kicking that off, but like if you're doing the work through that time, like you're gonna feel much more confident, you know. Like this is that opportunity to really get out of the mud. Uranus and Taurus, like it wants to free us from just being stuck in the mud. It's like a bull just grazing, happily, slowly. Like Uranus and Taurus energy too is like it's the slow and steady energy. But when it's challenged by Mars like this, like it's not slow and steady. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. So get on it. What do we got? King of Swords. So with this intensity today, you can't be like you're fighting yourself, like, like you're fighting, your own ego essentially. That's what the King of Swords really brings up is like it, and honestly this really brings up to me the T-square, the mutable T-square between Mercury and the moon and Neptune. Like things are cloudy, it's like you got to really like fight through that. And once you fight through that in your mind and you work through that, like it's really going to be able to transform like the next phase of what we're going into, because this is the last time Pluto's going to be in Capricorn until it's in Aquarius officially. So like this is that moment to really just fight through the fog and take authority. Like this is like authority, but like, kind of in a harsh way, but like sometimes it's got to be a little harsh to really just like move forward, and let go of the past. You got to fight your way through. And with Mars like that, it's like you gotta fight, you know. If you don't just want to be stuck where you're at, like you have to be willing to fight for it. And you know, it's almost like you're flying an airplane and you're just flying through the clouds and you can't see shit, you know. And you just kind of gotta like trust that you're gonna make it through and you're gonna land, and you will. So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you all this week, and have a great Sunday. Peace.